live. Welcome to Strikeout Beer, your least favorite podcast, with your pals Alan and no Rapid Dave today. We got Mr. Dillion Busby here. How are we doing today, Dylan?
Man, we're doing fantastic. Thank you for having me today, sir. And on a Thursday, nonetheless, we get a game while we're doing the show.
Right? We got a little Packers Commanders going on here. It's kind of a little bit of a snooze fest right now. It's 7-0, but I mean, it's just in the second. We're just in the second quarter.
It was
For those
almost 14-0 right there.
it's been pretty close a few times to doing something, and then they just shit the bed every time, just every damn time. Let's see here. Let me just share this out real quick.
Wear it out, wear it out.
So, how's life been treating you? How's everything going?
Man, pretty good actually. I'm blessed. I've learned to really appreciate the things that are in my life over time. You know, it's like the American dream, right? Everyone wants this, everyone wants that, and then at these times where it's getting harder and harder to afford just the basics, groceries, insurance, whatever, just going to dinner with your family, things like that. Trying to go to Disney World for God's sakes. So
Oh,
enjoying the things that are going well, like having the beautiful family, having a place to live, having a car to drive, all those things are just waking up in the morning, really, and having air to breathe. Learn to appreciate that. So
all right.
I'd say I'm pretty good, man.
Duncan's in the house. Duncan says it's been a bad couple days. Sorry about that, buddy. Lizzie's in the house. What's up, Lizzie? They went to Cheers earlier today. They were out at Cheers.
The one from the TV show?
Yeah, they're up there in Boston. They went to Salem earlier today, I think. They're all over the place.
That's
all
awesome.
over the place.
Cheers.
And of course they've found a way to find a lot of breweries, of course.
Yeah.
Which you would expect. So
that was Woody Harrelson's first show, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, that was his first acting anything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all the things going on in the world right now, Duncan. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We'll get into that here in a little bit for sure. Whiskey Pro is in the house. What's going on, Whiskey? I don't appreciate the fact that you're assuming that we're humans. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Don't assume my humanity or whatever you want to call it.
Not this day and age.
Right. So when me and you get together, and even Rapid Dave when he's with us, we want a speedy recovery for Rapid Dave. He's been stricken down by a massive bout of diarrhea tonight, and just can't get off the toilet. Just can't get off the toilet. The acoustics in his bathroom are awful, so he's not able to join us today.
He's straight Lloyd Christmas, just legs stiff on the toilet right now.
It's just nonstop. I think his legs are locked straight. It's bad right now. But we just don't know how to act right. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I would absolutely say that. We're a young country, we're young men, and we have not learned how to act right yet.
No, especially like during the week. Like we've done lives on like a Monday, and we're like white girl wasted by 9 p.m. So we're taking it easy tonight. I'm drinking the Sam Adams Just the Haze IPA, non-alcoholic. What are you knocking back over there?
I unfortunately did not get the haze, but I'm going with some Liquid Death. Bury It Alive.
Okay. What flavor is that?
It's kind of like I guess if anything, like a fruit punch.
Okay. That is, I've never had a Liquid Death, honestly. Never had one. I see all the flavors out there. There's a ton of flavors out there now.
Yeah. This particular one you can get at the dollar store right now for $1.25. I don't know if it's because it's like discontinued or what, but I don't know how that works.
I mean, not typically. Sometimes it's just they just buy in a gigantic bulk type thing.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
normally it's just like a bunch of yoo-hoo there in like Arizona tea,
Well, I mean, Arizona tea is the same price everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're keeping that price at $1. God bless them for that. Appreciate that. He said he'll never raise the price because why? I sell more at 99 cents than if I bump the price up to $2. So
Okay.
let's just
Who
keep the
who's
price.
this angel? Who's this angel you're talking about? It's someone I can get behind.
The guy that owns Arizona Iced Tea, whatever his name is, Steve Arizona or something like
Steve
that. I don't know.
Arizona. All right. Well, thank you, Steve. I love that mindset, man. That's how you keep a customer base right there.
And it's, you know what? Like you're talking about, everything else is just going up in price every time you turn around.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like to get my dogs their bag of food these days, it's $45. And I'm just
Man,
like,
even just this tiny little example here. So I used to work at Walmart, ages maybe in a different lifetime, ages ago. But I worked in in hardware, and after that I would have to cut keys sometimes for people,
uh-huh.
when they need a key, a
Yep.
copy. $1.47 back then.
Yep.
Now you go to get one cut, it's $4.98
Really? Man,
for a
I haven't had a
key.
key cut in a while.
It's the same thing it's always been.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a key.
and now, shoot, you don't even have to have a person do it for you. Now it's all automated now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just stick your key in there and the machine does everything else for you,
Yeah.
and you don't have to do anything.
Normally it's the older folk that want to come back and like give it to someone.
Right. Yeah. But like a lot of places, like I don't think you can have a person do it at Walmart anymore.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, they've got a machine at the front of the store by like the claw machine that
Gotcha.
you use now. Um, I don't even think because it used to be back in the automotive center. Uh, I
Yeah.
too used to work at a Walmart back in the hardware area, and would have to after automotive closed. I was in charge of copying keys at night. I was the key
Yeah.
guy.
Yep.
So I'm all about that key life.
Well, especially if you live in like a college town, you get it a lot. People want copies of dorm keys and shit like that.
Okay. Yeah, it would just I don't know, people just always getting keys copied. I don't understand. Like
That's cool.
I haven't had to have a key made since we bought this house. The house came with 2 keys. We needed a third key. That's it.
They
And to
never
be
lost.
honest with you, I don't even know where the keys. I don't know where the keys to my house are. Because the way our house is set up, our our driveway is on a different street than our front door. And
Okay.
so we always go in the garage.
Huh.
So we park in the driveway, so I just use my garage door opener, open up the garage and walk in the house that way. Um, I don't know. I had to for a brief period when our garage door opener broke. So for probably about like 3 days I had to use the key, but it's been like I said, I don't we never the first time we walked into the house, I used a key. But and that's because the garage door openers were in the house and I had to get them. But outside of that, yeah, it's always been the garage because again, it's on different streets, kind of where our house is we've got our in front of our houses, the neighborhood and all that. But we kind of back up on a main street a little bit. It's not like a main, but it's a busier street.
Yeah.
And it's just right there on the corner. And where they built the garage on this house is in the back. So
Huh.
yeah. So I don't know where my house keys are, honestly. I have no idea. It could be one of the keys on my key ring. I honestly don't know.
Now with the garage door opener, it's just one of those like little batteries. You got to pop it open and put the little
Yeah,
circular batteries in.
just circular battery in that, you know. But yeah, if our power went out, I might not be able to get in my house. I don't know. Like if it goes out while I'm gone and I don't know for sure that I have the key, yeah, I might be locked out. But
How
the
many
power
times
went
have
out.
you locked yourself out of your car?
Never. The car won't lock with the key inside of it.
Even back in the day though, like when you first got a car, you never did that?
Oh yeah, back then, yeah, I did it once I used to do it at the ball fields because I would throw my keys in my bat bag, and then sometimes I would just pop the trunk
Yeah.
and throw the bat bag in the trunk and close the trunk and never unlock the actual doors. And so, but it was nice because the cops always came by. So they
Yeah.
were always driving by the ball fields, and so anytime they came by, I'd always ask them "Hey, can you help me out?" And they'd always open it for me. I did that maybe like 2, 3 times,
And I
but
thought you were like a coat hanger in the door. What are you doing?
No, they got like a little kit. I wouldn't even try. I would just wait for them.
Yeah.
Because I knew they were gonna come by.
Even with the kit, we got an injury. Even with the kit, it's a pain in the ass to do.
Oh yeah. So we had to recently the missus, her battery for her key fob was dead.
Mm.
And the keys were in it. And I'm just always in the habit. She's real bad about locking the doors of her
Yeah.
car. So I always just lock them when I get home at night.
Yep.
And locked it. Didn't think anything of it because typically, if the keys get left in there, the kids will have the keys because she doesn't actually have to put her keys in the ignition. She
Right.
just pushes a button in her car. And so from time to time, the keys will get left in there. But if I lock it and close the door, it doesn't lock and it beeps at me. Okay, the keys are in there. Grab the keys. Well, this time, no. And I walked in. She was like, "Yeah, I got to get my keys." She's like, "I think they're in the car." I was like, "Well, I just locked the doors and it didn't beep at me." She's like, "Well, the battery's kind of dead, so it's not going to." And then we're like, "Oh crap!" And then we go back and look, and they're sitting in the back seat. The kid had the keys, left them in there, and you could see him in the back seat. And we had to pay like $65 to have a locksmith come and
Damn it.
unlock it.
You had to pay $65 because it was your
Yes.
fault.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not my fault. It's the kid's fault. The kid's the one who left the keys in the car.
Well, I guess put it on her tab.
That tab is growing by the minute. It's insane.
Has she done anything like lemonade stand or anything like that? Little kid like entrepreneur stuff.
So she actually just recently bought her own softball bat. $450 softball bat she bought. Selling toys, selling her old toys. Sold her old toys, sold her old softball bat. She wanted a new bat, and I was like, "Well, I ain't got the money for it right now, kid. So you're just gonna have to." Now, I was doing all the listing, and the meeting up and things like that. But she was giving me, "Hey, I want to sell this. I want to sell that." She's done that. So we got Snowman in the house. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing good.
All right.
She's also done she's an artist as well, and she was a featured artist at an art show at a local comic book store.
Nice.
And so she's done that. And
she
draws all kinds of stuff.
No, for that particular like comic book though.
Oh, it was all kinds of stuff. She had like comic books that she like with blank covers that she would draw. Like she had like a Superman, Flash, Batman, Captain America, Wolverine, all that. She had prints that she made. She did drawings. We had prints made of them, and all kinds of that stuff. And she made almost like $300 at that thing. And she's done like I'll do like parking lot sales, and like Comic Cons and things like that. And she's come and set up in my booths at those selling her art. So she's done some things, and like some of her art prints we'll put up in. I have antique booths, and we'll put her art up in there for her to sell, and she'll sell stuff out of there. So yeah, the kid's she's motivated. She's motivated by money. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. We'll be taking care of you in no time.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Oh man. So let's just jump into something. So 9/11's today. All right. 24 years since 9/11 happened. So 24. So I would have been, how old am I now? 45. So I've been 21 then. When that happened. How old were you?
I was 11.
11. Okay. You remember what were you doing? You remember where you were when it happened, all that?
Yeah, it's funny. Like initially, so in the years after, I always thought that it happened during lunchtime because I remember us, and maybe I misremembered the day, but my memory of it is we all gathered in the cafeteria. So that's why I always thought it happened during lunchtime. But I think it may have just been like a precautionary thing, from when something dangerous is happening,
Right.
Which kind of confuses me because normally you would go in the auditorium for something like that. So that's why I'm doubting my own. Like, were we in the cafeteria? I don't even know. So. How about yourself?
So I was on vacation up in Michigan when it happened. I had taken the week off, and me and a friend, we went up to Michigan, and I was going up there to get some of my stuff. And we were actually supposed to, originally our plan was that morning we were going to go to Canada. We were going to go to Windsor and go to the casino. And had we done that, I would have been stuck. We would have been stuck in Canada for a few weeks
Oh, yeah.
because when that happened, they shut the border down for a while. But something was going on, and we weren't going to end up going that day. We were going to go the next day. But then we were also supposed to go to this place called Greenfield Village, and it's like an old time place, right? You go there, and it's like the back in the like pioneer days type thing, right?
Oh,
And it's
okay.
pretty cool, especially when you're a kid. And I had been since I was a kid, and I'm up there with a friend, and she was like, "Oh, that seems pretty cool." And we were going to go, but we would have been there when it happened. But we woke up a little bit late that day, and it's kind of good because that area is a little bit rougher that day because it's a heavily Arabic area where
Oh,
it
okay.
is. And so wasn't a good place. Apparently, there was a lot of stuff going on that day after that happened. So it was good that we weren't there. But yeah, no, I was at my grandma's, um, and wake up, and she's waking me up as it's happening because she was old, and what do old people do in the morning? They watch the news. Um, in the morning when they wake up, they watch the news, and at night before they go to bed, they watch the news. It's
Yep.
what old people do. And she was watching, waking me up, and we're just sitting there, just like wow. And like I remember, like having to drive back like a couple days after this happened. And so this was 24 years ago.
Yep.
Gas prices were like $5 a gallon,
Oh, dang.
which for now, okay, we're not that far off from there. I mean, we're 260, 270 right now, I think. We get
Right.
close to $3. But then this was back when gas was a buck something a gallon, right?
Hmm.
And
Yep.
if you're going, it's like $5 a gallon. It's like I hope I can afford to get home.
Yeah. That's insane.
It was pretty crazy. But I
Right.
also remember getting back, and at the time I was working at Walgreens. And when I got back, and this was a few days after it happened, our store manager wasn't in, um, and he'd been out since it happened. And one of my coworkers was just telling me just like how hard he took it. Like it was devastating. I mean, it was devastating to anybody, right?
Yeah.
I remember, but he took it like he had like family members and things there, like, but he didn't. But it was weird. It was crazy, you know. But yeah, I'll always remember because I was at my grandma's, and I'll always remember we were supposed to be in Canada, and had we been in Canada, I would have been stuck there for a few weeks. Like,
Dang.
would have been crazy.
How
Like
about
you're
that?
just like, yeah, you're just like all of a sudden now you got to pay for a hotel for a few weeks. Um, and at the time, I mean, I'm 21. I don't have a lot of money. My bank account wasn't. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I
Right.
put some money back to go on this trip and things, and that's another reason why I had a friend go with me because she was like, "Hey, I want to go up to Michigan." I was like, "Let's go." And so we're splitting gas. Didn't have to worry about paying for a hotel or anything because we just drove straight through, and we stayed at my grandma's, so I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's just, and I didn't have to worry about food because grandma's going to feed me.
Right.
It's just paying for gas, food on your way up there, and just anything that you want to do. But yeah, it would have sucked being stuck in Canada for a couple weeks broke. Like I don't know what we would have done.
I guess all the maple syrup you want.
I mean, yeah, it's just growing on trees out there.
Crack a Molson.
A little Molson, a little moose head, something like that. Shoot, I didn't even drink back then. I didn't start
Okay.
drinking until I was 23.
Ah, when you got married.
No, no, just it was my grandma had recently passed, and Rapid Dave lost weight. No, no, I mean he is losing weight, but this is that's Dylan Busby. Rapid Dave is struck down with a hardcore bout of diarrhea tonight, Henson. He's
Just
stuck on the toilet.
absolutely crapping his brains out right now.
It's he FaceTimed me for a minute, and this is the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was like, why are you
Uh,
FaceTiming me during this?
a lot
Yeah,
of a lot of blood from what I saw.
so much, so much. It's crazy. It's just nonstop. He's just got his hand on the toilet, flushing it nonstop. Just, whew, it's rough. It's rough. But yeah, oh man. Speaking of diarrhea, so I saw, and I wish I could remember who the guy was, um, or like copied the link and sent it out or whatever. But this guy, I saw him on TikTok, and he was like, have you ever wondered in your entire life, do you ever think you've taken the largest dump in the world for that day?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or
Oh,
in the
for that
top
specific
10,
day.
like for that specific day. Because like
Okay,
every day is a new day.
that
Every
changes
dump's
it
a
up.
new dump. Have you ever, for that day, gotten done and you look down at it and you go, pretty sure that's it.
That
I
might
mean,
be.
that's gonna be hard to beat.
Should I call Guinness?
Right. Like you've seen that episode of South Park, right?
What they call Guinness?
About taking Randy's taking the largest dump.
Wow. No, I missed that one. I've definitely seen Mr. Hanky, but I haven't seen the largest dump.
Yeah, you got to go. You got because he's competing with Bono for taking the world's largest dump, and like, it's yeah, and there's a twist. So I'm not going to spoil it for you,
Okay.
but there's a twist that you're gonna be like, whoa, I did not see that coming.
And we were talking about apps. Now I got to go subscribe to Paramount.
I mean, HBO. It's on HBO Max.
Oh, really?
Do you have HBO?
No, I mean I got to thank my mother just for having a Amazon account, and that's the only reason I'm able to watch this game. Normally on Sundays I have to use a different site to watch games, and let's just say I don't get to watch all the games.
Is that's not the site that recently got shut down, is it?
They claimed was shut down. You can still use it. It's just not very effective.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure you can find that episode online somewhere to watch.
Okay.
Because it's an older episode for sure.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, it's worth the watch. But yeah, so where do you feel like have you ever had one where you feel like this is it?
I can't say that I have, to be honest. I've never, I've taken some good ones. Don't get me wrong, some real ones that I've been proud of, but never ones that I felt like I need to some people like to get up and show somebody. Some people like to take pictures and send it to a buddy. I've never done that because I've never felt like I've taken one worthy of it. But I will say it's a weird moment for a man when you do one and you're like, I kind of understand Sigmund Freud now.
Or you just take a massive one and you don't feel like you did it all.
Or
You're like, well,
like,
this was a waste of time. And then you stand up and you're like, what the hell?
well, you first read Freud and you're like, anal pleasure. Like, get out of here. Then you take a nice, good one that you just really needed to take. So when I was a kid, I had to drink prune juice and eat these special wafers, not necessarily because I was constipated, which is what they're for, because at the time, you know, I'm playing with my cousins, I'm playing a video game, I'm watching a good wrestling match. I don't have time to go to the bathroom and relieve myself. I'm going to hold it in like any champion kid does.
Right.
So it just comes to a point where the tank's too full. The septic tank is just, you're getting to the brim, you finally crack the seal. So I go in, and it's not necessarily that my deuces would drain the pipe. I would actually use so much toilet paper, and that's what drove my flaming members crazy, is when they had to plunge the toilet and just get all the toilet paper out of there.
Yeah, I've had to do that a couple times for the kiddos, and some of the times they're not even taking dumps. They're just, and it's like, look, you don't need to, you just went pee. You don't need to use that much toilet paper. Like,
Yeah.
And again, I'm just guessing, right? Because I've never had to. I'm not a girl, so I've never had to wipe after I was done going pee, right? So it's just like, but you don't need to use that much to where you're clogging the toilet. And then it kind of got with the youngest. She got to a point to where she was then scared to use toilet paper because she didn't want to plug the toilet. And so there was a few times where it's like, and like,
beat her enough times.
And like there was a couple times I walked in there, she didn't flush the toilet at all. And you walk in there, there's just a big old turd sitting in there, and there's no toilet paper. And you're like, all right, for one, you need to go take a shower now, because that's just two, you gotta use, but that's part of raising a kid. Like it's just part of it's just is what it is. They get to a certain age, and you're just like, and
Now,
like,
oh, sorry, continue.
no, go ahead.
I received a gift recently. I had asked for something for Christmas and I got it. I was very thankful for it. A family member got me one of those bidets that you can attach to your
Okay.
toilet.
Yeah, we have one.
And as soon as I can teach the kids to use that, not just for playing with and just for spraying out, on the floor and having all sorts of fun. As soon as I can teach them to actually use it for their butts, it's going to be a game changer.
Yeah. So when we got it, we got one when we moved into this house, and Miss was like, "I really want a bidet. I want to get one for the," and she bought one. She went on Amazon. She bought it. Gets it shipped to the house. I go and install it, and I didn't notice, like, as I'm setting it up, I had flipped it on, right? And so I get it set up, turn the water back on, and bam, I'm getting shot instantly. It's like, what the? And you're trying to, and I don't know how to work the stupid thing because we just set it up. So I'm trying to figure out how to turn, and I turn the stream up, and so it's hitting me more powerful, and I'm like, no, and it was, yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's like an
Kind of
Adam
wish it
Sandler
was
movie.
recorded. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, kind of wish it was recorded because it was funny. I can laugh at it. Luckily, we had just moved into the house, so the toilet was clean.
Yeah.
It's not like it'd been a while. Merk's in the house. What's going on, Merk? How you doing, brother? But yeah, it was a little rough there. But yeah, no, we've got one
That's
in the one.
America's Funniest Home Videos material.
Oh yeah, I would have won a. I'd be rich. I'd be rich.
Simpler times, man. Simpler times when you could win $10,000 because your kid, got whacked by a doorknob.
Yeah, or someone hit you in the nuts. Like, nut shots were key, right? I can't tell you the amount of times I've been hit in the nuts, and I haven't won one. I was never recording. Never recording.
Wasn't it Carlton, right? Took over after Bob Saget? Or am I not thinking of the right show?
No, someone else took over after Bob first.
Hmm.
And Carlton did it for a while.
Okay.
God, I know the guy who did it. There's another guy that took over after Carlton that did it forever. Now I got to look.
I'm hoping when Aaron Rodgers retires, he goes back on Jeopardy because that Ken Jennings just has zero charisma.
Yeah, Tom Bergeron is the one who's been doing it for a while.
Okay. We got Dave Coulier as a guest in here.
Yeah, Bergeron did it from. Wait, no, that's Hollywood Squares. Let's see here.
I love blowing people away who still to this day don't know that Alanis Morissette and Dave Coulier dated.
Yeah, and Jagged Little Pill is all about Dave Coulier.
Yeah.
That whole album.
It's so fun to like, oh my God, Uncle Joe.
Yeah, right.
And she's, when I was a kid, I never saw her as attractive, but now as when I'm older, yeah.
So Bergeron did it in
one hand in her pocket.
Yeah, I mean, back then I didn't get it. A little bit. I can appreciate it a little bit more now, but also yeah, I also know she wasn't smoking hot, Mark. Come on. Lisa Loeb did it for me. You remember her?
Lisa Loeb from
Glasses. She had that one song. She had one song. What was the name of that song?
Now I gotta look something up.
I got it right here.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, you probably want to look up Lisa Loeb, but let's see here. Stay was that song. Dude, we skate to one song and one song only.
I can't see Travis Hunter now. Like, it was already difficult before, but now that somebody actually posted the meme, I just can't see him now without thinking Cowabunga.
Yeah, no, he 100% looks like a Ninja Turtle since he shaved his head. 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
That was in reference, by the way. I didn't say that out of nowhere. I'm not just hating on Travis Hunter. He was on TV just now with Trevor Lawrence in some commercial.
Yeah. But now Lisa Loeb, you look her up. She's worth the look. She was hot back in the day. Fergie, I never got Fergie. I've never liked Fergie. Speaking of skating the one song and one song only, Lady Lumps by the Black Eyed Peas. But yeah, I was never, I never got I never thought Fergie was hot. I don't know.
Now, we never did direct this question back to you, sir. We talked about me, we talked about my kids and your child, but we didn't talk about, have you ever felt like you took the largest dump on that particular day?
100%. I have
I had a
had to.
few.
Not only do I feel like I have taken the largest dump in the world, I feel like there was a couple times where my kid took the largest dump for her age group.
Making you proud.
Like, I don't know how. Like, it's what. So I'm raising a daughter, right? Sweet, innocent little girl,
Yep.
and she went through a phase, and I don't even know where it came from because, like, I've never done this with her. But she'd call me and she said, "Dad, come here, you got to see this."
Oh,
And I go and it's just a monster dump, and I'm like,
dude.
"Did your sister take a dump and leave it in there?" "No, that's mine, Dad." And I'm like, "No, that's not. No, that's not. That is not yours, kid."
It's it's unbelievable. And I'll say, my son hasn't done it yet because he's not fully potty trained yet, but my son has never tried to bring me in to see, but my daughter has.
Yeah,
And I can neither confirm nor deny that my significant other has, but it seems to be this gross thing that females are into that I just like to block out of my mind. Like females don't do that stuff. I don't mind
yep.
a fart every now and again, is funny. A fart's funny.
Parts are funny.
Farts are funny. But I don't want to see
We used to, so when my youngest, when
yeah,
she was
yeah.
an infant, we would play a game. Me and the missus. Who farted? Me or the kid? Like, and she had to guess, and it's not as easy as it sounds.
No.
And if you've raised a little kid, you know that, right? But there was one day where she was in another room. This is short. She's still pumping breast milk, so we're in the first weeks of this kid being alive,
Yep.
and we're in the opposite room. She's in there with the machine going, and I mean, the kid ripped this fart so loud. And she yelled at me. The missus yelled at me, and I go, "Not me." She's like, "That was not my baby." I go, "It was your baby."
It's like they should know after so long. We claim our farts. We're proud of our farts.
100%,
You know.
100%.
So if
Yeah,
it happens, if you smelt it and we didn't dealt it, I mean, or we didn't claim it, then we didn't dealt it.
yeah. I mean, like nowadays, I don't say every time I fart because it would just be exhausting saying it every time, right?
For sure.
Sometimes you just let it go, and it's not loud or anything like that. She walked by and she's like, "Did you just fart?" Yeah, yeah, I did. I'm not gonna. I won't deny it. You know. But yeah, I'm not always gonna just be like, "Hey, just heads up, I farted." It's just, yeah. If you
I
ask
have
me, yeah.
wondered. I've been curious. If I were to go on a totally clean vegan diet where I ate nothing but things that fall off of trees and grow out of the dirt, right? What would my farts and poop be significantly more pleasant?
No, especially at first. So like I did a period where I did juicing for like and just made green juice, and just had that for a couple times, like 3-4 weeks. Nothing but that, and especially at first, because it's flushing all the toxins out of your body. It's the most foul, disgusting thing you will ever experience. Like,
Like I've heard, because I'm a Rogan fan, so I've heard all about the carnivore diet and eating only meat and all that stuff. And I've definitely heard the people who do that say that the first couple weeks are just horrible as
yeah,
far as what comes out of your rear end.
yeah, it's just clearing all the toxins out of your body, and it's bad. It's bad. It's not good for anybody. It's not good. I mean, I guess it is good for you, right? You're flushing all that crap out of your body, right?
Yes.
But there's nothing good about it.
I did do one time, and I would never recommend this to anyone else. It was foolish to do, but I did like half a gallon of salt water, and I mixed in like lemon juice, and I drank that, and man, that was a bad idea.
Really?
Yeah,
What is it, because of the salt water?
yeah, I think that immediately hit my
Because
stomach in a way I wasn't expecting.
yeah, because like I mean, the missus does lemon with her water all the time, right?
No, it was definitely the salt water aspect. You're not supposed to
Yeah.
drink all that. I think if you could, we could probably do a lot better with what is in the ocean, right? It would be more tolerable. I don't think we're supposed to drink it.
No, 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 no. Yeah, don't drink the water out of the ocean, But if you just got water that you put salt in, is that what you did? You put, or it was actual salt water, like.
No, I just poured a bunch of salt and water and then lemon juice and mixed it up. I think I drank like a half gallon of it, and
Oh shit, that's a lot.
yeah,
It did not was not pleasant.
no, it wasn't good. It definitely did what I like. I guess the end game was, but
The end game was there, but yeah.
yes,
Oh, yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
we didn't
But
need to carpet bomb the area when we could have just used an arrow. You know what I mean?
no. Yeah. But like I know like in my mid-20s, I was living in Abilene at the time, which there's nothing to do in Abilene, right? Abilene is just it's a hole in the wall town with a couple military
Abilene?
bases. Yeah, Abilene, Texas.
Okay,
There's a couple military bases there. There's a big jail there.
Sweet
Uh,
Eileen.
and they've got like three like Christian colleges there. Um, bars close at like on the weekends. The bars close at 11 o'clock on Fridays and Saturdays. The rest of the week close at 10.
Wow.
There are several strip clubs there, and it was always fun to go to on amateur night because the girls from the Christian colleges would come to act crazy, right, and act out. So that was always fun. But other than that, there just wasn't much to do there. And I was running an EB game store out there, and this is back when Halo 2 came out. I was a huge Halo 2 player, and all my friends lived here in the Fort Worth area. We're 4 hours away, and so I'd go home, I'd work, go home, make some pizza or pizza rolls, what's some form of pizza delivery system to put into my stomach, and
Bagel
a whole
bites.
pack of beer, and just played Halo and ate pizza and drank beer all night. And like some of those mornings waking up the next day, the dumps that had happened were always pretty epic. Like I've had to break down, get something and get the plunger and break the poop up because it wouldn't flush. You're just like, oh. So yeah.
The worst is when it happens in the shower, right?
Oh, I've never pooped in the shower.
Oh, get out of here, dude.
I have never pooped in the shower. What's
That's
up?
a
Jay's in the house. Says, "What's up, Alan?
Just
What's
the
up,
right
Busby?"
time. Just the right time. Jay, have you ever pooped in the shower?
I can't say that I have. Like, what do you mean by like you're in the shower and you're just like, I gotta poop, so you just poop?
No,
Or
you got the bubble guts. You're not expecting it. It's kind of like a shark. You're going to fart, and it's like, oh man, I wasn't expecting that.
I
And then it
mean,
kind of just hits the tub, and you're like, oh no.
I've probably I've sharted in there before, but I wouldn't consider it like I crapped. Like I want to be like I pooped in the shower. It's oh no, that fart was a little bit wetter than it should have been. You know,
I guess we
um,
all have secrets that we never reveal. So that's
it's
gonna
not a
be
secret.
yours.
I've got no shame. I'll tell you if I did. I've been on the toilet crapping and throwing up in a trash can before.
Oh,
I've
that's
done
yeah.
that, and I've done like I'm throwing up, and then all of a sudden the stomach hits, and it's like oh crap, and you let a little poop go that way, um, but I've never been in the shower and like I would say that I pooped in the shower.
Yeah, both ending it with
The worst.
your can on the can and your mouth and the other can.
It's the worst.
It is the worst, but I don't know if it worse than when you have like for me. So back when I would dare to drink brown liquor, and you'd have those nights where you're hugging the toilet, right, and you can't even sit up on it. You're just lying next to it. I think
Yeah.
those are.
You wake up the next day and you're still in the bathroom. Yeah,
You just
I've
want
been
to get
there.
thrown in the bathtub at that point.
I mean, I've been thrown in a bathtub before, but by the time I was thrown in the bathtub, I was done.
Oh, does it sound different now?
You sound a lot better right now.
I thought I heard that noise that my mic went out, and I was like, "Oh, he still hears me."
No, you sound way better right now.
Excellent. All right. For those of you who may have noticed, I am holding my snowball microphone right now because of certain space constrictions, and I have a loose wire. But I'll have you know that in the early days of Shane Gillis, he did the same exact thing. So just think of me as an early Shane Gillis right now.
Okay. You're ahead of your time.
Mm-hmm. So we are at halftime right now in this game.
14-3. Not what I was expecting.
Not at all.
Jaden Daniels with 49 yards passing. I don't even know if I've seen Bill on the field tonight.
Not enough to make an impact, I guess.
No, I mean I was all in on Debo and Bill today, and they've done nothing but break my heart. I'm seeing Tucker Kraft catch a couple passes here, so I like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I told people to play Kraft today, so Golden almost catches one there, man.
And you said that Jaden Reed got hurt on that touchdown, right?
Oh, well, it wasn't even a touchdown; it got called back.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah, he caught a touchdown and it got called back for holding, and so no touchdown. Dude, Jaden Daniels pissed me off. Me too, Jay, because I know I have him in one of, I don't know if it's the Strikeout Beer League or if it's the Listener League, but I have him in one of. I think it's the Strikeout Beer League. I have him in.
I couldn't help but notice Jay never did answer the pooping in the shower question. I'm going to take that as a yes.
Jay, have you pooped in the shower? Inquiring minds want to know. Tell us.
Yeah, especially me.
Yeah. So then do you just stomp it down the drain then at that point?
You gotta. It takes a lot of work. If you have a cup to like fill up with water and pour on, it's a process. It's a process.
So that would suck because like we have one of those, like we have like a mat in our shower.
Yeah.
That's Jay said not sober.
Exactly.
Well, I would assume so. But we have, because it catches like hair and stuff like that to try and keep it out of the drain.
Oh man.
Because
I can't imagine. You've got your wife, your daughter, and your beard. I can't imagine the hair that gets clogged.
The kiddo has a different shower.
Okay.
We've got. She's actually got her own bathroom now that the oldest kid moved out. So we don't have problems with that. It's kind of like a little bit of a bigger drain. So we haven't had any issues with that one yet.
Mine, it looks like the ring when I pull the stuff out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so the mat had kind of like moved down. Like it will slowly start to move down closer to the drain. And then I just ignore it until like the other day I was like, oh crap, the shower's starting to back up a little bit now.
Yeah.
And so I moved the mat back, and then because it was so close, like I pulled out what could only be, you could say it was like a small baby Chewbacca out of the drain. You're just pulling out. It's just like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I hope there's not a head attached to this.
Because if so, it's getting thrown in the trash. I'm sorry. We're not saving this. We're not saving it. Oh man, yeah, no, we're not happening. It's not happening. Oh man, what's this guy want? Oh, so let's talk a little bit about you. What exactly does it say that you do online? So you got mostly football, right?
Yeah.
You and Nate. To I still will contest to this day is probably your worst host you've ever been with.
Well,
his opinions and his takes on Cam Newton are absurd. He makes bets and doesn't pay up on them. And
have you heard
does he have new opinions?
Have you heard him talk about George Kittle?
No.
It's funny. He's actually justified right now because he did complain about how often he gets hurt.
Yeah.
But he claims that George Kittle is a blocking tight end. I'm showing him the stats. It's just like 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, 900 yards, 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
He is a great tight end who is great at blocking. That does not make him a blocking tight end.
But he's not a block. It's not like Pat Freiermuth. He's a blocking tight end.
Yep. Darnell Washington,
who will catch the ball every once in a while, but he's in there for blocking.
Yeah.
Right. The lines we got Brock Wright. Bring him in the block. He'll catch it every once in a while, but that's not his purpose.
No.
Yeah. He still refuses to pay up on his bet that he made with me. And that's the basis for him being a terrible host. Is you're going to make bets, and then you're going to refuse to pay up on them, and then when I join the stream and ask him, "Hey, what's going on?" he'll just completely ignore me.
Well, it's a pretty good playbook. I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
To
Well,
be
no,
honest,
you pay up on your bets. So
yes. Look.
Now the original bet was something different. Okay, we'll just say that you were supposed to eat my jockstrap.
Yes, I did alter the consequences severely.
But you got approval before you did it, right?
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, I get it. You don't want to eat my jockstrap. I can contest that's, hey, that bet was made when we weren't as we talked about earlier, we don't know how to act right when we're together.
Right.
And we had a few drinks. And
Yep.
so, but I presented you with another option and you took the other option out and paid it. Now,
Yeah.
his wasn't eating a jockstrap. His was eating the one chip. Well, actually eating two because we made two bets.
Do people still do that?
I think it's still a thing.
Okay. Because that was the thing for a while.
It was. I've
People
done
were
it once.
dancing outside their cars as it was going down the road, and they were eating hot chips.
I'd willingly ignore Alan on my pod too. Oh, Jay.
Oh man.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Is ignoring the fact that I'm like, hey, when are you going to pay up on this bet? And he's just like,
yeah, he's like Trump with Epstein. He's just like, what's that? Who's even talking about that anymore?
Here. Is that still a thing?
So I don't know why everyone's talking about this bet.
Right. So you got mostly football, and how often are you guys doing that these days?
It's not nearly, it's just right now with the kiddos and different things going on. It's all me, and I got to give it to Nate. Like, he is the most flexible, willing. Anytime I text him, he's like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll do it. So all the credit to Nate for just being totally available anytime I ask. But right now, just with life, essentially, it's not as consistent as one would like to, if you're going to have a podcast, right, and do it on a regular basis. So, but it's also nice because I don't feel like, there's no sense of burnout, and there's no sense of like, man, we have to do a pod today, but I have no idea what we're going to talk about, so we kind of just, we're really just going when we actually have something to talk about. So that part of it's nice. So we're just figuring it out right now. And I've done this a couple times. I've had a couple different, football related shows I've started, and then I've had to restart a different show. So, mostly football is good to go. It's just figuring out scheduling, and as soon as it's back on, it's back on. Same thing with Dress Casual, my other pod, which is just me talking to people who I'm interested in talking to. And I do love doing that show, and that's going to be another thing I plan on doing again.
That's how we originally met. Was you were doing that, and because you were doing that, you were in some of these podcast groups on Facebook, and you came across ours, and you're like, "Hey guys, I'd love to have you on," and we're like, "Okay, let's do this," and that's how all this started.
I love sharing that story because there's so many people who think that social media is absolutely good for nothing, and people just spew hatred all day long. Like, me and you are joking right now about how big of a turd we've taken in the past, and we've never personally met a day in our life, but because I just happen to be in this group on social media, we've grown this relationship over time. So, that's what's awesome about it. And I appreciate you having me on, but yeah, that's the awesome thing about podcasting. And with the very tragic recent event that I know we're going to talk about, there is something I'd like to talk about with podcasting.
Yeah, we can go ahead and jump into that right now if you want to.
Okay.
So, you're talking about tragic event, you had Charlie Kirk, assassinated. I don't know if he qualifies for assassination, right?
I think so. I think it's been mostly called that.
Talk to, right? Yeah. And murdered, assassinated. Either way, he's not with us anymore. And it sucks. No matter. And here's my thoughts on that, right? And we're not going to get too political with it, so don't worry, guys. Who says long distance relationships don't work? Yeah, exactly, Jay. Exactly. They work great. We've been friends for. Has it been like 6 years, Busby?
It feels like it's been a couple of years, man. Actually, and that's crazy to think about.
I was in my old house, and I've been in this house for 4 years.
Yeah, I've been in this house for 4 years, and I talked to you in my old house. So yeah,
I want to say it's been like 6, 7 years. It's been a minute for sure.
That's nuts. Wow.
Yeah, the think it's been that. Yeah, it's been that long. But Charlie Kirk, dying. It's no matter what you think politically, it's a shame because here's someone who was killed for no good reason.
Yeah.
Now, he was a husband. He was a father. He's got 2 daughters that now don't have, a dad. And they're younger. His wife, how he's not there to be with his wife, to help raise his kids, over a difference in opinion,
Right.
I would say I don't agree with everything that he says. There's some things I agree with. There's some things I don't agree with. I enjoy watching his videos because I've enjoyed watching and listening to him. Here's what he did. He goes to colleges and he gets college kids to talk, and he gets them to think, and he gets them to be engaged, and he gets them to care about things. And I never once heard him belittle somebody, yell, scream at somebody. He always had a conversation with them. And sometimes he would, at the end of the conversation, well, we're not going to agree on this. Right. But he would always try and find common ground with people, though, too. Hey, can we agree on this? Can we agree on that? We might not agree on everything, but let's try and find some common ground. And his big thing was when you stop talking and you stop the discussion, that's when bad things happen.
Yeah.
Right. And he's created an entire movement of a generation. Whether you agree with it or not, whether you think he's this or that or whatever, he's someone who got people talking. And sometimes that's what you need, right?
Absolutely.
You need to be able to discussions. You need to be able to talk about it. And it sucks. Like it's, and there's a lot of people that were there and saw that now they're scarred from seeing something like that. There's going to be a certain level of, do I want to go to this event and on my campus? Because what if something like that happens again? And I don't want to be there when that happens, because nobody wants to be there when that happens.
Exactly.
Some of those people that saw that were right there in the front row and saw it, it's going to be tough to sleep.
Well, I mean, Jesus, at this point, with how I can't believe it was never censored on Facebook. I don't know if you can still watch it, but it's unbelievable. I can't believe how visible and available it was online.
Yeah. Like, we got to a point last year where they weren't showing injuries in NFL games that much anymore online. Right?
Yeah.
But this was everywhere yesterday.
Yeah.
Murder for hire, tinfoil cap time. I mean, but then you also saw all these people talk conspiracy theories. Oh, it was faked. This is all acting. There's one guy who was like, oh, you can see right here. You can see this black circle on his shirt. His microphone is what it is. But he said it was a blood pack. And then it would jump all the way over to here when he got shot. Yeah, because he got shot his microphone off. But, this is all acting. This isn't real. Well, okay. Well, now he's dead. So
I think I want to get some other stuff in first. I'm ready to go conspiracy, but I don't believe that it was a fake by any means.
There's that out there too, right? That he was sacrificed for whatever. He was a person that they. Okay, yeah. I mean, here's my thought on that. If you want to make something a conspiracy, you can.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
So let me. I just want to, and I'm not. I hope like none of this comes across as like condescending or anything. I'm genuinely curious when I ask this question.
Yeah.
Do you believe there are people in the world who have not just the desire but the ability to stoke culture wars by doing certain things, whether it's killing?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Yeah, that's yes.
So to see the reaction online, like on my personal timeline on my Facebook, people I've known my whole life are like threatening other people I've known my whole life over this issue. It's unbelievable.
Which is insane. It's insane.
It's unbelievable, like level of hatred. So if you're someone who desires instability and a culture war, I mean, let's say you didn't actually push this button, but you're like, well, this is working great. You know what I mean? And what I'm also saying is it serves even a greater purpose, because if you're someone who desires instability and you desire to stoke culture wars, you may also be someone who has an overall goal of taking away a sovereign nation's ability to defend itself and people's ability to defend themselves, i.e., in this case, in our case, the Second Amendment, right? So you have a democratic youth, and maybe not everyone feels this way, but I feel like it's mostly believe that if you're a Democrat, then you're for strict gun laws. If you're a Republican, you're not for strict gun laws. If you kill a guy in this fashion in front of a bunch of young Republicans, that's scaring the shit out of them, and maybe it does swing them the next time they go to vote for gun laws and things like that.
I mean,
so maybe it's not on purpose.
I can see what you're saying, but I can also see where you don't see them going that route. Like,
and supposedly what some people were saying too was he was starting to criticize a certain country more than he'd criticized them before. So maybe that's, whatever. But again, if it wasn't, if it was, and I also like, it's just too perfect. Like, somebody wrote messages on the bullet casings. Like, I just don't believe that if you're a psychopath willing to kill someone, you take the time. Maybe you do take the time to like get an engraver. But I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know. But I think it definitely serves. It's just like let's go back to 9/11. Like, you're telling me the hijacker's passport was perfectly left on top of the rubble. It's just too perfect. Like a trans, because this guy was anti-trans. We have transgender. I don't know. Like you said, I don't want to get too political. And the other thing I wanted to get in here too is that, and maybe this goes into the conspiracy aspect of it as well. But I hope that, like you said, he was very good at going to these campuses and opening up a dialogue, if nothing else. The first time I was exposed to something like this was with a guy named Steven Crowder. He would go to these places and put up a sign that was always a meme years ago. It was like he had some outrageous statement, and then he'd be like, "Prove me wrong," or whatever. And then, so that's the first time I'd seen like that type of thing. And then Ben Shapiro would do it, and then I would see Charlie Kirk do it. So he was just like following a line of people that were doing this. And to be honest, I've been, not that he doesn't deserve any recognition, but I've been very surprised at how deeply impacted people I know. Like, I just, like I said, he was just another guy to me in a line of guys who would do this sort of shtick of going to places. And, he wasn't a jerk, like you would say, but there was definitely videos edited in a way that made him look more intelligent and the people he was talking to less intelligent. But, it's just I've been very surprised by the people who are so deeply impacted by his particular passing, and I've also been very surprised by the people who would celebrate the passing of someone regardless of their ideology.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And like we've seen a lot of people get fired here over the last couple days.
Right.
The Carolina Panthers, the head of their communications, had a post that he threw out there, and he got fired. You've seen some school teachers posting things and getting fired. Like, you should never be celebrating the death of somebody. You shouldn't. Like,
you shouldn't.
Like, even like, I'll take it to a whole nother level. Like,
you shouldn't be celebrating the death of someone who didn't harm anyone. Let's say that.
Like, I wasn't I wouldn't say I was like celebrating like when Bin Laden was killed, right?
Right.
I'm not going online and posting, "Woo, yeah, we got." I'm happy because he was. You can 100% say he was a bad person, right?
Yeah,
it's just, and he.
Well, you could say he had done
a lot of bad things.
Yes, he had done terrible things. Yes, if he did get killed.
If he did, obviously, right? I mean, there's always. You can always go one way with everything, right?
But going back to celebrating the death of someone who'd never done anyone any harm.
Right. His thing was, hey, have a good night, kiddo. Love you. His thing was, he had a different opinion.
Yeah.
That's it. He had a different opinion. And, a lot of people, there were some people that accused him of being racist and, all that. And I mean, he's hosting all these summits for for Black Americans. One of his a guy who does what he does first. For Turning Point, Officer Tatum. I don't know if
Right.
you've ever seen his stuff, but those are two guys
I
that
think
have.
I have.
I like Officer Tatum. He's pretty good. But and again, I don't agree with everything he says,
Yeah.
but careful about slippery slope. I know RD is watching this sweating right now. Now RD's he's sweating all right because he's just so much diarrhea in the bathroom. So much.
I mean, the burritos, the spicy peppers.
It's just whew. But it's just he had a different opinion. Whether you agreed with him or didn't agree with him, he's just voicing his opinion, but he's not just voicing his opinion. He's opening up the door for everyone else to voice theirs and getting the discussion going and having the conversations. And that's what you need to do. You need to be able to have the conversations.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now,
There's a time where you used to go to the bar with your buddies and you talk about stuff and you didn't always agree, but it just is what it is. And you were just fine with it. But it's kind of gotten to a point to where it's be careful what you say because someone will be out for you.
No, and that's the thing too. That's another thing I wanted to mention. When I was talking about podcasting and how important it is earlier, I think it's super important, and maybe now more than ever, because in the shift that we've seen in our lifetime between people only watching mainstream media, and now mostly people our age only watch like the news that's on YouTube and stuff, those type of more independent news channels. So I think that I hope that I understand if those people are scared right now, obviously, to be like, am I next, if I have an opinion or whatever. So I just think it's so important, and now more than ever, those people keep speaking their minds, keep having open dialogue with people, and, kind of show that you're not going to shut us up. Violence isn't going to create silence and all those sort of things. And it's even on top of that, like, I'll just say too, it's been surprising because, I'm sure you remember the age of cancel culture a couple of years ago, right? When everyone was getting fired for everything they say. Like, there were people on the other side of that fence not too long ago who were like, oh, First Amendment, you shouldn't get fired for what you say, who now all of a sudden are like, not just saying, I understand if you don't want to go to a business where you don't agree, if you don't want to provide whatever, but to go all over Facebook, to call someone's boss or to write an email to their corporate whatever and be like, oh, this person said this, to try to get them fired, I think is a little pathetic too, though. Like, that's going too far as well.
It's like, let's talk Philly Karen, right?
Yeah.
The lady who took the baseball, right, from the kid on his birthday, and the dad was just take the ball. I don't want to get out of here. Get out of my face, lady. I don't want to do it. She got fired from her job. She was a teacher. She got fired. That's crazy. Ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't lose your job over something like that. Like,
no.
Yeah.
Going back to him in particular, and just the importance of speaking your mind and having, and again, because those debates, when you watch the presidential debates these days, especially, you're waiting for a gotcha. You're waiting for someone to get dunked on. You're waiting for that one line, and those aren't real debates. Those are just sound bites. Those are just clips of people who don't actually believe in what they're talking about. So when Charlie Kirk goes to a campus and you're actually hearing people speak their minds and actually being allowed the time to do it, like, those things are important. So it's when people see a ridiculous presidential debate and say, what good is it even to talk to the other side anymore? It is important. It's always important to speak to people with different opinions and different values than you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Jay, she did lose her job. She did. It's insane. But yeah, she lost it. But yeah, no, and it's those debates, right? It's all the questions are screened, right? They're all, and I'm pretty sure both candidates know all the questions are going to be answered. There's no surprises. When he's doing these events, him and the other people like him are doing these events, those questions aren't screened. It's just a line of people. And there were times where people that, that disagreed with him would start yelling and screaming, and he'd be like, hey, come on up. You're next. Right. and have the discussions with them. And sometimes it was people would get up there and just want to hate, and he's like, all right, we're done here.
Right.
He would try and have a discussion with them, and they would just ignore what he's saying and just hate, and he's like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Go on, next. Next.
Yeah. But sometimes you get real, you get the entire spectrum of emotion. You get someone who starts off pissed and yelling, and then by the middle of it, they're kind of like crying and giving why they're pissed and yelling. And then by the end of it, they're hugging, and they're happy, and they're like, oh, I changed my mind,
You've
That's
seen
what it was. That's what Crowder said. He said, change my mind. Yeah.
And sometimes it's, they didn't change your minds, but you could have an educated conversation with someone,
right,
and disagree with them, and have that discussion where you disagree, and you say, okay, you're more than welcome to your opinion, and I'm more than welcome to my opinion.
Yeah.
And leave at that, and leave on good terms, right? You had the one kid who's like, one of Charlie's biggest detractors, that was always trying to be there to debate him, and was always trying to debate him one-on-one and all that. And, the clip came out of him, hearing about it, and he's legitimately upset. Like, this is one of his biggest detractors, one of the people that disagreed with him the most on things. But at the end of the day, he was like, that's somebody's husband, that's somebody's father. He has 2 daughters that never get to see him again, and that's awful. This is terrible, right? And that's how it should be, whether you agree with him politically or not. It's awful. It shouldn't happen. This is a guy who's just going out and having conversations and having a different opinion than you. You shouldn't have to. And so now the way these events are going to be run are going to be completely different, right?
Oh yeah.
He said it's going to, the number of people that are going to be able to go to them are going to be limited, because he's having these events outside where it's hard to have the security, right? The shooter was on a building a ways away, right? And so now these events are going to you're going to have these events moved to indoors, right? So that you can control the situation in the scene more. But now you're going to limit the number of people that can go to these events, right? So not as many people are going to be able to go to them. Or what you're setting up a situation where you're outdoors, but you're behind bulletproof glass or whatever, or you're in the Pope mobile, right? The Pope drives around in the bulletproof bubble, So now they're in a bulletproof bubble or something like that. Like, it just changes the way everything's going to be done, and it will probably be a little while before another one of these events happen. And Turning Point puts these on. It's not just Charlie Kirk that does it. It's a lot of people that work for that organization go and do them. Like I said, Officer Tatum is one of them, that he goes to colleges and has these discussions. And then now you've got this backlash that's happened at these HBCUs, where there's threats being called into those today. And you had several that had to cancel classes, and schools were put on lockdown because of that. And they shouldn't be. It shouldn't happen.
Right.
And they had nothing to do with it. Right. But it's just one side overreacting, or again, is it the conspiracy theory where now, okay, well, this happened, so now we're going to start, we're trying to start some sort of a internal war in this country. And it might not even be someone from here. It could be someone from another country.
And it may not even be, it may not even be
like going as far as,
well, true. Yeah. It may not be that, but like, even not, you don't have to necessarily even like try to start a civil war. Like, Occupy Wall Street. Yeah, I don't want to go too crazy on your show, but like, there's just a couple of different times in my life where people really came together, and we were on the anniversary of 9/11, so it is relevant. 9/11, as tragic as it was, like after that, everyone had an American flag outside of their house. Like, there was just something about we're all unified. And then you had Occupy Wall Street, where it was like, no, we're not left versus right, or we're not gay versus straight or anything. Right now, we are recognizing that the bankers have all the power and we have no power, and so we're going to try to send a message that way. That got all washed away by the culture wars, and now here we are right back again with the culture wars, and it's just so tiring. And I was hoping that, like, through the internet and all the exposure and different ways you're able to see these people and how they act, and it's just so out in the open nowadays, that we just wouldn't fall back into this trap again. But it seems pretty effective right now.
Yeah, We're right back in it.
Yeah.
Whoa, man, right back in it.
But it's very important to understand how different the First Amendment and what our Constitution is, not just to us, but on a global scale. You know, like, I don't know if you heard about the comedian in the UK that got arrested recently. I believe he tweeted out, and forgive me if I'm getting this wrong, but I believe he tweeted out, "I love bacon." And because that was perceived as like hate speech against a particular religion, I can't remember if it was Islam or Judaism, but he tweeted out, "I love bacon." It was perceived as a hate crime, and he literally was taken to jail over that. So,
lost you, Busby. Lost you. Your sound's gone. You there? Hit that.
Yeah, okay.
Oh! Had you for a second.
So yeah, it's like,
there you are.
Okay, so you have the guy who's jailed for his speech, and now you have a guy who's potentially, I don't know if it's if it's part of a grand master plan, but if it's part of just somebody who disagreed with what he was saying, now you have a guy assassinated over his speech. And we just have to remember how important it is to have the First Amendment, to be able to say what you need to say, and then to understand that doesn't take away from how important the Second Amendment is. You kind of need, like the forefathers understood, to be able to always protect your ability to say what you need to say against a tyrannical government. You need to have the ability to defend yourself against said tyrannical government. And if we just say, well, I guess we don't need the guns anymore, and only people who are cops and soldiers need the guns now, it's like, okay, well, if you believe that this particular president coming in is a Nazi, like has been said about presidents who've come in before, why would you ever put all your capabilities and abilities to defend yourself in the hands of that? Why should the government have a monopoly on violence? Like, I just think it's folly, it's foolish. And even on a much smaller scale, like I was talking about with Dylan Moran the other night, you know, a young lady was just stabbed to death recently on a bus. Now, I like the idea of my significant other being armed and being able to defend themselves if a person who's much bigger, much stronger comes along and decides they want to harm her. So I'm not against the Second Amendment at all.
No, but there's a middle ground, right? And that's what we need to find. Because yes, there do need to be some stricter gun laws. There should be some things that need to be done, right? Because people there's some people getting guns that should not have them. I think I saw the story yesterday or maybe even today. There was a 13-year-old that had over 20 automatic rifles and guns that they caught. He was planning a school shooting, and he had an entire arsenal. Now, how was a 13-year-old getting all this? Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there are laws on the books for that. If he's just superseding the laws, you're always going to have people, getting around laws.
Right.
I don't think there's a state. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope maybe you can correct me. I don't think there's a state in this country where you can go into a gun store and buy a gun without some form of background check.
I honestly, I don't know. Right. But there's also, like, I mean, you can go to a gun show and buy a gun, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Get it, right? So
I
still
think in that case you needed. I still think in that case,
I think there's something, right? But obviously, what we're doing isn't working, right? And you don't want to take all the guns away, obviously, right? I mean, this country was founded on its ability to, stand up for ourselves.
Yeah.
Stand up against a tyrant, and defend ourselves. And we've had our own internal war, right? The Civil War, where we fought with each other, and good prevailed in that. But it's because of our ability to protect ourselves. But also, you can't argue with some of the things where you look here, then you look at all these other countries that don't have the school shootings. They don't have the gun violence that we do.
Right.
Now, we don't need to go that extreme, but again, there's somewhere in the middle where we gotta figure something out, so this stops happening. Like, or I don't know, man.
Yes, I think there's studies that show, and I'm not gonna lay all the blame at the particular feet of one area. I'm pretty sure there are studies that show a lot of the like mass shootings that happen. Those people tend to be on those dangerous like SSRIs or like antidepressants and stuff. So I do think medication's a part of it, and I just think the general culture of like it's cool to like being tough, being gritty, like being independent is definitely part of the American culture that I love. But like a gun culture that just celebrates bang bang shoot shoot every resolution. And particularly when I was a kid, I was like, oh, people complain about Grand Theft Auto, they're just being old and crotchety. Like now I'm more sympathetic to the idea that like whether it's gangster rap or video Call of Duty that just kind of like lets you shoot people all day long and you respawn and you're not really feeling the deaths that you're. So I'm more sympathetic to the idea that it's not, we shouldn't be celebrating the violent culture in those ways of like, oh, the next Call of Duty's out, let's advertise it all over every platform. And, maybe we should treat it more like tobacco and wait till kids are older and have the advertising be less and things like that,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, depending on what it is. Like, I never like, I didn't let my kids play, Grand Theft Auto. I mean, they didn't really play video games, honestly.
And don't get me wrong, I played all those video games, and I've never had a desire to shoot
I was
someone.
also, like, I played all those games, but I was also adult when I played all those games, right? The games that I played when I was a kid, I mean, I grew up on the Nintendo, so it was a little bit different, right? Nintendo, PlayStation was out when I was in high school. So
you had like the bird's eye view Grand Theft Auto.
I never even played that one. I didn't play it until 3, I think, on like the Xbox.
Okay. That was a fun one.
Yeah, PlayStation 2 and Xbox. That was the first really good one. But when that happened, I was an adult at the time. So my kids didn't play, but my kids didn't really play a lot of video games.
Yeah.
The youngest one, she plays Roblox.
Oh, nice.
She plays Roblox. She plays Minecraft. She's got some baseball games she plays on her phone, on her iPad that she likes. I don't know. She doesn't. We've got a Switch. We'll play Switch, every once in a while, some Mario Kart and things like that. But she plays.
It's funny you mentioned that. Is there Mario Kart? Do they have it for VR? Is there VR Mario Kart?
I don't know.
Oh man, that's what I would get into. I could get into that.
I don't think there's any VR for Nintendo. I don't think they've. The only VR they had a VR. What was it called? What was they had? It was. This was when I was in high school, and it was like I gotta look it up. But it was red, like the screen was red and everything.
Okay.
What was it called?
The Nintendo Suzuki VR.
It was something. Virtual Boy was what it was called. And it was a 32-bit tabletop portable video game system. And it was bad. It was bad.
Probably give you a seizure on the wrong day.
But it was also like really cool. You're like, holy crap, this is awesome.
Oh yeah.
But also like really bad. Like you can like the Power Glove was just awful, right? It seemed really, really cool. And then you got it and you're like, this thing is stupid. This is dumb. But you wanted it to be so cool. Yeah. But yeah, it was not cool at all, man.
Boy, not much has changed in this game. 17-3 Packers.
Yeah, it's kind of a snooze fest.
What are your thoughts? So I just want to know. I thought that Jared Goff and the Lions came out kind of flat, which really, if you've studied Jared Goff long enough, he has these really big splits between home and road games, right? So I was kind of expecting that a little bit because he's on the road. Do you think that this game at home against the Chicago defense that gave up, 3 scores to J.J. McCarthy after he started out kind of shaky, do you think this is a bounce back game for Goff?
100%. The bounce back game for the whole team.
Yeah.
Here's the last 3 years we've gone 1-1.
Okay, that's pretty good stat.
So,
that's funny.
We're going to be fine. It's the first game under 2 new coordinators. I'm not concerned about the coordinators at all.
Yep.
I'm not concerned about anything.
Yep.
They're going to be fine. You got, a couple new guys on the offensive line. They're figuring some things out, working together. They're going to be fine. It's a game. But also, like, take a look, and they just made some mistakes that they don't normally make. But they're mistakes you make early in the season.
Yeah.
They were in the red zone 4 times. They capitalized on 2 of those. It's a completely different ball game, right? It's a game. Like and like I talk about this with the SB Fantasy Football. People freaking out. Oh man, I'm 0-1. This guy was bad. This guy. I go, just relax. It's 1 week.
Yeah.
It's 1 week. It's 1 game. Like everyone's like, oh, was it Harold Fannin Jr.? We got to go and get Harold Fannin Jr. Why? He had 1 good game. He's a rookie. Now, he did have a good preseason. Okay, cool.
Yep.
He came. David Njoku's still there. It's not like Njoku now sucks at football and he's going to be non-existent. No, he's still there. I'm not dropping Jamar Chase because he didn't do anything, or A.J. Brown, right? Or your Eagles. 1 catch for 8 yards. I'm not going to drop A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's going to be just fine. It's 1 freaking game. Chill out.
I don't. That being said, I don't blame people, for taking the shot on Fannin because just in case, right? But
like if you had George Kittle, like you had George Kittle and you got to go pick someone up. Okay.
Right.
But a better option that I'll throw out there that's available in a lot of leagues is Brenton Strange for Jacksonville.
Right. Yeah.
I absolutely love Brenton Strange. This is a guy that last year when Evan Ingram was out, showed that he's a capable receiving wide receiver, had several games of over 100 yards and touchdowns. I don't see any reason why he's not going to do that again this year.
Right.
So there's other options out there, but just relax, calm down.
And you just, it's the short memory thing. It's remembering that every single year there's someone that goes off who completely falls off the next week.
Completely.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, let's chill out. Let's relax a little bit and just take a breath.
Yeah.
Like, you got people like, oh, the Lions are done. They're awful.
Right.
No, they're not done. They still have all that freaking talent. Okay. Here's the thing. Yes, you lost a couple of coaches, but all that talent is still there. Yeah. You still have a really great offensive line. Goff's still there. St. Brown's there. J-Mo's there. You added Isaac Tesla, who I absolutely love.
Oh, my God.
That catch that kid had at the end of the game was insane. That's his first NFL catch.
All he does is catch touchdowns.
All he does is catch the ball. He literally has 0 drops.
That's crazy.
All through high school and college, and now his 1 game in the pros, 0 drops. He doesn't drop the ball.
That's
like nice. You still got Jahmyr Gibbs is still there. Dave Montgomery's still there. Sam Laporta. Aiden Hutchinson's healthy. Like, just, it's a game. It's 1 game, people. Chill out. Relax. It's going to be fine.
I mean, on the other hand, like, are people expecting Daniel Jones to look like Dan Marino all season long? Like, it's just something that happens.
I will say I think Danny Dimes is going to have a good year.
Okay.
I'm 100% on Danny Dimes. So his 1 year he had good. He had 1 good year with the Giants. And his 1 year that he was good with them, who was healthy?
Saquon.
Yeah. His other 2, he had another year where Saquon was hurt. The other year he was hurt. And then last year he wasn't there.
Right.
So when he has a run game, he's shown to be good. So he goes to Indy, who has a better offensive line, has Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
I can run the ball. And you have some good receivers there. You just drafted a good tight end. He's better than Anthony Richardson. That's just all there is to that. And Anthony Richardson is just not good at football.
No.
At
least not yet. At least not yet. And I've always been a believer in Jonathan Taylor. I was very surprised at how involved and good he looked catching the ball.
Yeah. He's
going to have a great season.
You didn't see it the last couple of years because of Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
You put a quarterback back there that who's decent. I'm not saying Danny Dimes going to win an MVP this year. Okay. And the Colts aren't winning the Super Bowl this year. Let's pump the brakes, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is he's going to be competent. He's going to be close to a top 10 fantasy quarterback this year if he stays healthy. He's got that ability. You saw it this last week. He has the ability to run. We've seen that in the past from him. His ability to run the ball, almost like a wish version of Josh Allen. Okay, that's what he is. He's not Josh Allen, but you, when you buy him online, he looks like him. And then you get him, he's just a little is this big instead of this big, right? You're like, oh crap, you got me. I didn't look at the measurements, right?
I'm missing 2 bolts. 2 bolts.
Right. But I think the Colts are going to be fine this year. I can see the Colts making the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still put my money on the Texans, but I would never say that they have that division locked up.
Nobody has that division locked up.
No.
That division is. But also, like on the other hand, like you saw how awful the Dolphins were, right?
Yeah.
They're not gonna continue to be that bad. Look for a rebound from the Dolphins this week. Now, was that a case of they were just really bad, or were the Colts really just that good, or is it, hey, it's week 1? It's a week 1 in the NFL. You don't know what's going to happen.
Did you see the thing where, and I can't believe I haven't heard this before because he's been in this national spotlight for so long, but supposedly Tua is not naturally left-handed?
No, I haven't heard that.
I was on like that Sportskeeda page, I think, so, take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
But supposedly his dad was a lefty and was just such a freak about like Tua throwing left-handed that like even though his right hand is dominant, like for some reason he was just raised to throw left-handed.
Huh. No, I hadn't heard that. That's crazy.
It is kind of strange.
Yeah.
And it would explain like if he's not, if he's known for kind of underthrowing guys. Why don't you try
also, if he's been doing that his entire life too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I bet you if he tried to throw with his right arm, even though it's his dominant arm, he doesn't throw with his right arm. He's not going to be accurate.
I'll say this. Michael Vick is the only left-handed thrower I've seen that actually looks smooth. Tim Tebow, Michael Penix, these guys all kind of like look like they're really winding up when they throw left-handed.
I mean, you don't throw Tebow in there. I mean, Tebow was never a mechanically sound quarterback. We'll say that, right? We'll try and say that in a nice way.
There's something about Tua and Penix. It looks like they're putting their whole body into those throws.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, Michael Vick was just, if it wasn't for the whole dogfighting thing, I would just like to have seen what his career would have turned out.
Really, even afterwards, right? Like those couple seasons with the Eagles were exciting, if nothing else.
They were. But just imagine he doesn't have to take that time off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What could have been,
Yeah.
would have been. It's one of those what ifs, right?
Oh, I mean, as an Eagles fan, if Chip Kelly didn't completely dismantle that team, I mean, I just don't understand the hubris of that man saying, here's an offense that has been top 1 or 2 the past couple seasons. Let's tear it down.
But also to be like, hey, I'm going to take this, the whole nonstop calling plays, always in the no huddle, just like, okay, I get at the college level, high school level, it can work, right?
Yeah.
But when you get to the pros and you're with the best of the best of the best, you're not catching these guys off guard. These guys aren't getting tired.
Yeah.
Like this is the peak. This is the pinnacle. That's where that kind of takes a backseat, right? Just like, like that coach that's in high school that never punts the ball, right? That won't work in the NFL.
Right.
It won't.
And it got to the point where it was, you could tell it was extremely counterproductive because the offense wouldn't actually get first downs. And now because you hurry up every play, the defense immediately has to come back on the field after maybe the other offense sustained a long drive and they're gassed. So it's just it showed there was no pass rush. It was just unbelievable.
The way to tire down a team in the NFL is to keep your offense on the field.
Yeah.
And keep pounding and ground and pound and hitting them and just, not I'm just gonna go, 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 go.
Right.
No, that doesn't work. It's not gonna work here. And it didn't. And it was awful. And it was fun to watch. It just miserably fail.
Yeah, it was very fun to go from Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, and LaShawn McCoy to Jordan Matthews, Josh Huff, and DeMarco Murray. That was a lot of fun.
But like, so here's the thing, and here's what you got to respect about the Eagles. They go through and they have this Super Bowl run, right? When they get Wentz and they draft him, and you think he's, I mean, in all intents and purposes, he was him until
Oh
the
yeah,
injury, right?
yeah,
And then he gets hurt, and you're like, your season's over. And then Big Dick Foles comes in and says, "No, sorry, it's not over."
it's not
And
over.
they win it all, right?
Mhm.
And Doug Peterson's a toast of the town. To 2 years later, your franchise is an absolute train wreck.
Yeah,
You get rid of Peterson, you bring in this other guy, and you start all over, and just like that, it's turned around, right? And all of a sudden now, bam, you're back. Eh, That's just, and it's just crazy, like for it to that turnaround. You're so great, you suck, you're the
yeah,
worst. You're so great, and that's where you are. And for it just all happens so quickly. Or
right.
like even like San Francisco, they go all in on Trey Lance and trade all these first round picks. And Trey Lance is hot. He is warmed up hot dog water, right? Cold hot dog water. It's not even warm hot dog water, right? And they lost all this draft capital with him. But then all of a sudden you hit on Purdy.
Yep.
You hit on Purdy, you do a few other things, and they don't even miss a beat.
Right.
Like, and then you got a franchise like Dallas that's just a train wreck nonstop all day, every day.
Mhm.
Like, what the hell?
And the Lions are such a good example of, because there's not many examples. It's weird how it works. There's 32 teams. You would think there'd be a good fluctuation of like good and bad teams and going through. It seems like, and I know there definitely are Cinderella stories. You can name the team. I'll name them right now: the Ravens, the Packers, the Steelers. Those type of teams always seem to draft well. The Eagles, unless they're in there. Let's be honest.
I mean,
Always
now,
seem to
yeah.
draft. Yeah, they draft well. They get, they seem to hit on a particular position year after year or whatever, and you can just tell the way these GMs work. Like, it's just so many things go into it. I understand, but like when these teams are consistently bad, like the Cardinals, like the Panthers, like all the
Like
Panthers
the Lions
recently,
were for forever.
like for the longest time, but then you get the right guy in there, and it's just crazy. And culture change sounds corny, and everyone wants to be like, "Oh, this guy, thinks he can blah blah blah." There is something about a guy who you believe in, leading you, and really knowing what he's talking about. When I watched the Giants Hard Knocks, dude, and I saw Joe Shane, sitting in his office, and his family's in there, and everyone's on their phone. Nobody's paying attention to the dad, big GM, Mr. Big Shot, and he's just basically talking to the wall. I'm like, this dude doesn't have it. Like, it's not.
But also, he asked his kid who's just sitting there farting around on his phone playing Roblox or whatever, right? Hey, who would you draft? I'd draft Jaden Daniels. That's who I would draft. Like, his kid tells him.
Right.
His son tells him, go draft Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that we can make that happen. And then Jaden Daniels just does what he does last year, right? And you're sitting there like, well, your kid told you to draft this guy. Let's make this kid the GM. Let's get rid of you. Because obviously the kid knows more, right?
Yeah.
And just the whole way he misplayed the whole Saquon thing. Oh, no one's going to pay him that much. And you got the owner sitting there going, I would really hate for our number one player to be playing somewhere else. He's like, no, we're going to sign Danny Dimes. That's the guy. Danny Dimes is the guy. Danny Dimes is the guy because Saquon's there. Like,
yeah.
And then what happens after that? The fact that guy still has his job is insane to me. Like,
And then, maybe the shining example, and we'll see what happens this year with Flacco, but the shining example has to be the Cleveland Browns. And, the amount of quarterbacks, coaches, I'm sure
they had
upper
the
office
guy.
guys.
They had the quarterback. They had Baker.
Right.
The guy who took you. Finally, you go to the playoffs. He's doing great. He has an okay year, right? But he's also battling injuries. The team around him's okay.
Yeah.
And you get rid of him and you trade for Tugjaw McGee, Deshaun Watson.
Well, and that's, that goes back to the relationship between, the GM and the owner and the like. These guys clearly are not talking when you hear the owner or whoever it was being like, I didn't even know we were going to draft Shedeur Sanders. That wasn't my idea. It's like, well, he's on the team now, and you better hope he's still motivated to play for you guys after hearing that. You draft 2 different rookies, you bring in Kenny Pickett, you bring in Joe Flacco. It's just such a after you, and they're clearly not doing their homework on these guys. When you've got Deshaun Watson having the situation he does, you bring him in. You've got Quinshot and Judkins just now signed because of what he was like. It shows who's making what type of, when teams are bad, you can just easily tell why.
Yep, 100%. And I mean, we went through some bad GMs. I still to this day can't stand Matt Millen. I think he's the bane of my existence. And if I like when he would call a game, like I even if he was on the call for the Super Bowl, I wouldn't watch the Super Bowl that year. Like, no, I'm good.
Maybe on mute.
Nope, because he'll still show up on the screen. just not going to watch it this year. Don't even care. Who cares? Awesome. I just can't. I couldn't do it. No. Couldn't do it. But yeah, but we've got Dan Campbell in place. I love Dan Campbell.
Yep.
He understands. He was on that 0-16 team,
right,
for the Lions.
Yep.
He spent some time there. He understands what that city's about. He knows what that team means to the city. As bad as they are, they've always meant something to the city, right? And you get a Brad Holmes in there who is just the guy can't miss,
right?
And like everyone, crapped all over him. The Gibbs year. Oh, you're drafting Gibbs this high. Oh, you're trading up for Laporta, and you're drafting Jack Campbell too soon, and then the next season happens and they all just ball out, and then you hear all this, and then after that, you got all these teams going, well, if they hadn't taken Gibbs, we were getting ready to take him.
Yeah,
Gibbs wasn't going to fall much further. There was a lot of teams that wanted him. And then, Tesla, they give up 2 third-round picks for him to trade up for him and get him. And everyone's like, oh, they gave up way too much for this kid, way too much. Yeah. And then again, you hear all these other teams talking about, no, we were getting ready to take that kid. Like, this kid's special. This kid's good.
Yeah.
And the only reason why he flies under the radar is because of the team that he was on. He was on Arkansas.
Right. Well, and also, I mean, trading away a potential Hall of Famer and Matt Stafford, one of the most popular figures in Detroit history, to get a guy who, if we're being honest with ourselves, like most people thought, okay, the Rams are getting the better end of this deal. The Lions will deal with Jared Goff for like 1 or 2 seasons, and then they'll just draft another quarterback. And that's not the way it's panned out. Like, yes, the Rams won the Super Bowl with Stafford, which is great, but the Lions have like been to the championship. They've been to
it was a win-win. It was a win-win situation.
Yeah.
And I was on record, and we can go back and we can pull evidence of this. I'm not just saying this because of what happened. I was on record of Goff was going to be a success in Detroit.
Okay.
And my whole rationale behind that was we're a good running team. And Jared Goff had his best years of success when he had Todd Gurley there, when he had a run game.
Yeah.
And he was coming to Detroit where we had a good run game. We were going to get the other pieces put around him. I was like, this isn't bad. Look at all these picks we're getting. And then we turn all these picks into all these players, right? And
all the controversial players you just listed. Yeah.
Right. All these players, everyone's like, well, why are they drafting him? This is why, right? Yep. Getting St. Brown when we did, and everyone's like, oh, what? That guy's, I want video evidence. I don't believe you called that. I did. I 100% did, Jay. You can ask RD, because he looked at me and go, no, you're just a dumb Lions fan. I'm like, I'm not. I mean, I am a Lions fan, and I'm dumb, but it's not because of that, right? Like, I believed in the guy. I felt like the Rams gave up on him too early. He was in a situation where he made comments about McVay's fiance that McVay heard. And then they started butting heads, and then they weren't talking, right? And you listen to Goff. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I'm dumb. It is what it is, right? And I am a Lions fan, but he will back up the fact that I said Jared Goff was going to work in Detroit. Now he'll argue and say, "Oh, it's not working because you haven't won the Super Bowl yet." And he'll also argue and say Dan Campbell's not the right guy. He's just a rah-rah guy. He's not a good coach. I'll disagree with that as well. Yeah. But whatever. But he was in a bad situation. They weren't talking. Heck, they didn't even call him when they traded him. They weren't even telling him like, hey, by the way, we're shopping you around. We're probably going to trade you away. None of that. They didn't call him after they traded him. He heard from Detroit like, hey, by the way, we just traded for you. We're excited to have you. Can't wait. Brad Holmes came from the Rams. He was part of that group that drafted Goff.
Okay.
So he knew what he was getting in Goff, right?
Gotcha.
Yep. And like you hear him talk about that trade now. He's done interviews and they're like, I knew what was going on with Goff, and we were looking at trading away, Stafford because we're trying to rebuild, and we talked to the Rams like, hey, how about Stafford for Goff, and we'll throw some picks, and he was like, yes, 100%, yes, I'm in on this, right? And so, but then there's also kind of part of you that's like, the way that they've built this team, could they have won a Super Bowl with Stafford? Maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll play what if.
That's always going to be there.
Yep. So we're at 17-10 now. Packers leading.
Yeah.
11 and a half left. Packers are driving now. Yeah, he's got a bunch of receiving yards. He's got 116 yards receiving tonight.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah, I like that. That for sure.
I got him in a couple of best ball leagues.
I told everyone to play him tonight, so that's working out for me. Hopefully that counteracts the whole Debo and Bill thing, unless they can get it together somehow. And
I don't know if you've ever seen him drink, but that guy can drink.
Who's that? Tucker?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I haven't.
He did like this beer Olympics with Taylor Lewan in the offseason.
Okay. Yeah.
My God.
That's awesome. I always remember was it David Bayarty chugging the beers at Bucks games and stuff.
I think that's who he showed up with. Yeah.
Yeah. That guy can drink. That guy.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So.
DeForest Buckner was there. It was pretty cool.
Sweet. I'll have to go check that out.
Actually, you know who else was there? God, I think he's like one of the official. No, he did like, man, he did like NFL channel stuff. He was like a legit like figure. He was there, and I haven't seen him much on like the official shows anymore. But yeah, that's funny. Who's chugging beers at Bucks?
Cabaret, not Bucks Cabaret. Jay, don't get excited. Milwaukee Bucks games.
That's funny.
A Bucks Cabaret. They have a commercial for this place called.
Oh,
Bucks
Cabaret. It was the guy who, like, on I forget what particular night of football it was, but they'd go to the official and be like, "Oh, what'd you think of this? Was it a fumble or was it not a fumble?" And that guy would be like, "Oh, well, we got, I'm here from New York and whatever." So it was one of those types.
Okay, all right. Yeah, not Booger McFarlane.
Not Booger. Yeah. Well, you see, you have a beer, and when you have a beer, you got to drink it.
This is Booger coming from the Booger Mobile.
Oh my God!
But no, we got this place, Bucks Cabaret, and they have a commercial on the radio that says, "Come to the Bucks Cabaret, where you can meet your next wife, girlfriend, or baby's mama."
That's awesome.
All right. Oh man, good times.
We got this great advertisement here. It's about for Freddie's bail bonds. A shout out to Freddie's bail bonds. And it's these two guys in their car. They're getting pulled over, and the one guy's like, "No, don't open the glove box." And the guy opens the glove box. I'm like, "Oh." If you're getting in trouble, call Freddie's bail bonds.
Is that Tucker Kraft?
Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft with the TD. Oh man. Just balling out today.
How about that?
I hit on one of my picks for tonight, so I got that going for me.
You said you have him. Do you have him in any of your leagues?
I don't. I don't
Damn it.
have him in any. I don't have him in any of them.
Hopefully, you're not playing against him.
I might be. Who knows? I you know what? I might have told someone who I'm playing against to play him. I don't know. It happens.
That's
No,
funny.
I'm big Andrews guy. Andrews Strange. This year I was real big on those guys.
Andrews.
And then, Mark Andrews. I mean,
I'd be selling that stock.
I mean, he led all tight ends and touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
So some guy was like, "Oh, he hasn't had a good year in a few years." I was like, I mean, other than leading all tight ends and touchdowns last year, and I think he was number 6 overall tight end. But yeah, outside of that, yeah, he's been trash.
Yeah, it just feels like he's getting phased out pretty quick, especially when Likely gets back.
Well, but Likely's not there. Likely can't stay healthy. You know, Likely's he's always getting hurt. So
He's unlikely.
Very unlikely to play. Oh man. All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here, guys. It's been fun. Dylan, thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Man, thank you for having me. It's been awesome.
When Rapid Dave says he's out, it's like, all right, let me hit up Busby.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some like eye drops in his meal next week and have him do the same thing.
Have him do the same. There we go. I love it. But check out Mostly Football. You guys are on what social media are you guys on?
Yeah, we're most oddly enough, we talked about ineffective Facebook, mostly on Facebook. We definitely you'll find our shows on YouTube, and you'll have to tell me. I don't know if you have this issue, like when we do live shows, it's hard to get them over to the videos tab. Maybe I got to do some editing later because they only stay in like the live tab, and that doesn't show up, when you go to our page. So I got to work around that.
It's weird. Like when I go back to look at the stats, sometimes I got to go to the homepage to see the numbers and stuff. And then after a few days, it will show up in the live.
Yeah.
It's just classified under the live. So if someone's looking for them, they got to look at the lives.
Right.
They don't show up in the videos. Your videos are just uploaded videos.
Yeah, it's not helpful. I need to find a way to. Yeah.
I mean, you can download it and then upload it into the video side, right? That would be the only workaround.
Gotcha.
I don't know if maybe there's something you can click to move it.
Right.
Maybe there's something you can move it, or if you create a folder, you can always have it go to a certain folder.
There probably is like a 10-year-old content creator listening to this, like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
These guys, these freaking stupid boomers. But thank you so much, Dylan, for joining us. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who came in, watched the show. We appreciate you guys. It's been fun. RD should be back from his diarrhea next week. We'll see. But as always, guys, I'm Alan.
I'm Dylan. Everybody love each other.
Hey, we'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.